What's up, world? This is your guy, Guitar K, and today's video is called Don't Respond to Everything. You know how people always say this slick phrase right here? They say, if you're not for me, then you're against me. And it sounds real slick when they say that. But an even better question is, are you for you or against you? And when you're asking yourself that question, you got to look at your habits. You got to look at your routine. Is your habits for you or against you? Is your routine for you or against you? And this video right here, don't respond to everything. See, responding to everything, that's not for you, man. It can be against you. It can be detrimental to your rise and fall. It can be detrimental to your life and death. It can be detrimental to your health, your wealth, your freedom. Look, man, don't respond to everything. See, when you're on the right path, when you know where you're going, you don't have to ask nobody if you're on the right path. You don't need no validation, no hand claps, none of that. You know you're on the right path because you know that you're on the right path. And a person that responds to everything that everybody say and everybody what they doing and this and that ain't the right path, man. You ain't got time to respond to everything when you're on the path that you're supposed to be on. Don't respond to everything. Check this out. I'm a musician. That's why I call myself Guitar K. And in music, between every note, we have what is called a rest. You have to have some silence, man. You can't be just keep going and going and going and going. You can't keep responding. Know when to not say nothing. Know when to rest. Without the rest, you're not going to have that beautiful music that you love to listen to. The notes are very important. Our words are very important. But so is not using the words. So is not playing the notes. You got to know when to rest, man. Look, we're going to go to the Bible on this one right here. 1 Corinthians 13:1. If I could speak all the languages of earth and of the angels, but didn't love others, I would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. Now, first of all, it said if I could speak all the languages of the earth. Now, that's a lot of languages for one person to be able to speak. But it said, and of the angels. Now, I don't even know. Look, man, we ain't even going to go there with it. But it said if you could speak all those languages, but you wasn't coming from words of love and you didn't love others, you would only be a noisy gong or a clanging cymbal. So that's what I'm talking about. You don't got to respond to everything. If you're not responding with love, if you're not responding with care and patience and consideration, you ain't nothing but a bunch of noise and confusion. You're a gong. If you ever remember the old TV show back in the day, the Gong Show, you know, when people was up there and they was hamming it up, you know, kind of like I guess it was like the white version of Showtime at the Apollo. You know, Showtime at the Apollo, when you was up there, you was doing bad, you was getting booed. They would bring Sandman out there, he would sweep you off the stage. Well, on this show, when you was up there and you was doing bad, they would bang the gong on you. And the gong, man, that's an annoying sound. Don't nobody want to hear a gong or a clanging cymbal. Now, a cymbal could be okay in between, you know, some drums and some bass. You know, the cymbal could be okay, but not just a clanging cymbal. Can you imagine just sitting there through a clanging cymbal or a banging of a gong? That's what you sound like when you keep responding to just every single thing. Always got something to say. And when you always got something to say, and you always responding to everything, it's no way that you're coming from a point of love. It's no way that you're coming from a point of kindness and patience and trying to understand before being understood. Don't respond to everything. Look. Without not knowing when to rest, you know, like I said, man, it's important. Save your words to say something important, to say something of meaning, to say something impactful. Look, today, noise and confusion, that's what I'm trying to avoid at all costs, because the path that I'm on, I don't got no room for no noise. I ain't got no time for confusion. I don't have no time for no chaos. So it's a lot of things that I don't even respond to. Even when things are said to me, I don't respond. I ain't got the time. Look, if I'm not speaking to help or inform or saying something positive or helpful, I'm probably not saying nothing, man. Look, if you watch any of my running videos, you know when I throw on my Black Forest Gump cap, right? I always started off with, I'm just here to inform, inspire, and entertain, man. Look, watch your words. Watch what you say, man. What you say says a lot. I don't know how to say that no better. Look, back in the day, the old folks had a saying. If you don't have nothing nice to say, don't say nothing at all. I know that that's hard to do. Look, but you got to practice. Practice doesn't make perfect, but practice makes progress. Like I said, the title is not don't respond to anything. Don't respond to everything, man. Everything doesn't require your response. Look, man. And like that Bible verse said, man, it don't matter who you are. Because if you're somebody that can speak every language, man, you got it going on. And if you're somebody that can speak the language of the angels, woo, you're heavenly. You're out of this world. So I don't care who you are, what you got, what your status is. Look, don't respond to everything. Don't nobody want to keep hearing your gong banging voice, your clanging cymbal voice, if it's not coming from a point of love, kindness, patience, long suffering, gratitude. Look, zip it. Shut it up. Do not respond to everything out here today. And you know if you're guilty of it, you know you just can't help yourself. Always got to get the last word. Always got something to say. Sometimes you could say something without even saying words. You might be one of the people that be like, with your grumbling and bumbling and all of that, man. Look, it takes practice, man. Like I said, man, if you want to be a better person, if you want to ride that right path, you want to stay in your lane, there's no way you could be looking over here and listening to everything everybody's saying. Keep your eyes on the road. Don't worry about what people saying over here. Don't worry about what people saying over there. It doesn't require your response. You can get to your destination without responding to everything that's going on around you. Matter of fact, I bet you have a smoother ride and you'll probably get there in a more timely fashion if you don't respond to everything. This is your guy, Guitar K. Be more